everybody, this is Michael out in Maui, Aloha. So I wanted to discuss on the reach back, do you go with a firm reach back out of the X step, or do you reach back with a loose arm on the reach back to make your throw? When you're coming when you're coming out of the X step and you reach back with a really relaxed arm, I'm not sure of what you're trying to gain. If my arm's really relaxed on my reach back, like, now, 2 seconds later, I'm throwing this disc. So if you reach back really loose, at what point in time are you tightening up the muscles to pull it? Because if you're trying to reach back really loose on your reach back, and then you tighten up all your muscles on the pull through, then you might as well reach back like everybody firm. Why reach back super loose only to tighten the arm just before you throw? It's just an extra movement. If you're trying to reach back loose and throw with your arm really loose and all the way through, well then, when you come through, because my arm is so relaxed, like a noodle, that if I come through and my arm has no tension in it, I don't want my arm to pop straight, because all that pressure is going to pop right in my elbow. So if I'm really relaxed and I come all the way around and I throw my arm straight out and I don't have any tension in my arm, it's going to stop when the elbow stops it. And I don't want all that pressure jamming into my elbow, because it's going to hurt my arm. So if you're reaching back really relaxed and you're throwing from here all the way out, you don't want your arm coming completely straight. When you release this disc, you don't want that arm popping like that. You're not trying to stop your arm, by, taking it to the maximum straight. That is not what's going on, and you're going to hurt your arm. So when you're throwing the disc, you want a firm arm. About the same tension as if you're going to handshake somebody. I'm holding my arm right there. It's about the same amount of tension as it would take to hold your arm out. The grip I like to set right at the beginning when I'm looking at my shot. If I'm sitting here, I'm going to take my grip before I get into my run up. So my grip is set, I'm holding on. My arm is loose. So when I come out of the X step and I reach back, my arm is firm. It's not relaxed. I want it firm. My grip is tight. My reach back is firm. I like a little bit of a bend in the elbow. I don't like going completely straight, because the first move when you throw the disc is to bend the arm, down here. So if I have it slightly bent, it's a lot easier to drive that in. So you got a firm grip, slight bend of the elbow. My first move is here. Then as your arm comes around to throw the disc, you actually throw the disc with your arm on a slight bend. When your hand comes forward to release it, your arm is a slight bend to it. Your arm is not going completely straight when you're throwing the disc. From that little bit of tension that we're talking about from a handshake, from that little bit of tension you put in your arm, when I pull through from here and then I come forward, that tension will make it so your arm cannot straighten. That little bit of tension is going to stop my arm on that bend. And that's what protects your elbow from getting hurt. Because I have that little bit of tension in my arm, it's not going to let my arm snap all the way straight, where I snap it right into my elbow. You know, it's going to stop the arm from straightening. So that's what you're getting. You're holding a firm grip, and when you're coming out this side, you're going to throw the disc with your arm slightly bent, and then that's when it snaps. Your arm's going to stop, then your wrist fires around your wrist. So when you're throwing, bam, there, and then this rip snaps. But if you hold a really loose grip, if you hold the grip really loose, and then you pull through with it really loose and throw, you might end up throwing with a straight arm, which is gonna hurt your elbow. If you were able to take a high-speed camera and film, you know, the throw, you know, so you can see it in super slow, the throw is like two throws, or two parts to the throw. Because you have tension in your arm, you'll come up and your arm will stop. So when I get here, my arm's literally gonna stop right there with that bend, and my wrist is gonna snap around. That's the first part of the throw. So you're here, you pull in, and your arm is gonna stop, your wrist fire. If you had that slow motion camera, it would probably show that your arm stopped for that little bit of time. The rotation comes from your shoulders. So when I throw the disc here, it's gonna stop, but then the rotation of my shoulders is what brings me through. It's not my arm. My arm isn't leading me all the way around. When you throw a baseball, the baseball is driving your momentum over. So if I take a ball and I throw it, my momentum is coming over because of my arm. When you throw the disc, your arm is coming through and it's stopping here, because that's where the snap comes from. Then the rotation of your upper body brings you through. So when you're throwing the disc, you want tension in your arm, because that's what stops your elbow from hyperextending. You know, it's not going to allow my arm to go completely straight, because it's going to hurt me. So by putting a little bit of tension in there, my arm is going to stop with that bend in it. And then the wrist snaps around, you know, on that throw. So it's there and then here. So I recommend, you know, I don't think there is any pros throwing with a super, you know, relaxed reach back. I don't know any pros that are doing that. Everybody seems to reach back, a firm reach back, good firm grip, because from here to here is like 2 seconds. You don't have a lot of time to rethink stuff from here to here. So anyways, for the two types of reach backs, I recommend, you know, a firm reach back. Don't keep it really loose. Because like I say, it's so loose, you gotta tighten it up again just to throw it. Or if you throw it from being really loose, you might snap it into your elbow and cause elbow pain, you know, because it's just coming all the way around and there's nothing to stop. You know, there's nothing to stop the momentum of your arm, you know. So I just recommend, like I say, a firm reach back. And then when you power through, because there's tension in your arm, it's going to stop your arm from straightening and causing any pain in your elbow. So anyways, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha.